Hi everybody, it's Geordie from Geordie's Cards. Thank you so much for joining me today. I am here with episode number 4 of my Shop Your Crafty Stash series today. I have been loving doing this series. It's really made me think outside the box with a few of my cards. And today I have the little Koala agenda stamp set and the Hello Bluebird Pond Builder die set, which are these elements that you can see kind of at the bottom there, not that one at the top with the gravestones and the spooky trees. So little agenda sets, I love them. I have several of them, but I generally use them with the Mama Elephant grid dies, which are kind of designed to be used with these little agenda sets. So creating a scene with them can be a little bit difficult because they are very small. But I decided to have a go today. So I have a piece of Bristol smooth cardstock here, which I've cut to, initially I cut it to 5.5 by 4.25 inches. I decided to make it slightly smaller than that and cut it down again to 5.25 by 4 inches. And I'm just doing some ink blending here. I've used Tumbled Glass and Salty Ocean Distress Oxide inks. And I am just creating a bit of a sky here. So a bit of a gradient effect from lightest at the bottom there to the darker colour at the top. And I'm going to go back over that blend line and just make sure it's nice and smooth. When I am using my Distress Oxide inks, I love to use Bristol Smooth cardstock. I find that the inks blend so much easier on it than using normal cardstock. And once I've done my ink blending, I'm going to splatter it all with a little bit of water. I just spray a bit of water into the palm of my hand and then pick it up with a paintbrush, which I find works better for me than spraying it directly onto the card. I have a little bit more control over it. So I clean that up and then I am going to bring out the little elements that I cut using the Pond Builder die set. So the Pond Builder die has this grassy element and I'm going to do some ink blending on that as well with some Mowed Lawn Distress Oxide ink. So I'm just going to go fairly kind of rough and ready over this. I like it to look a little bit textured, so I don't like it to look too smooth. After all, this is grass, and grass is not perfectly smooth in real life. So I like it to have a few little bits of texture in there. So I've just done that quite quickly. And then I've also cut these kind of little canopy pieces as well, which come with the Pond Builder die set. And they're obviously designed to look like the canopy of a tree. And I've just cut them so that they're kind of shaped to go into the corner of my background panel, so that they will fit in there and look like they're kind of trees that you can't see fully. So now I'm bringing out my Lucky Clover Distress Oxide ink, and I love this combination of Mowed Lawn and Lucky Clover together. I think it works really well, even though the Mowed Lawn is kind of more of a yellowish green and the Lucky Clover is more of a bluish green. I think it looks really nice together. So I've just gone over and done the tips of my grass there, and I'm just kind of doing the corners and edges of my canopy, my tree canopy here as well on both pieces. I thought about using a different coloured green for my tree canopy and my grass, but I decided to do it all the same. I just thought it was a little bit more cohesive. I am enjoying using a more limited colour palette in my card making these days. I just think that it makes everything kind of gel together nicely without, if you're not using like loads and loads of colours. So that's kind of the direction I've been heading in lately. So again, I'm going to splatter that with some water and then pick up the droplets with my paper towel, and it just gives that nice texture. So off camera, I went ahead and coloured and cut out some of my little koala images here. They are so cute. And I'm just going to kind of place everything down and figure out where I'm going to put everything. So I've got these 2 little guys that are hanging off the tree branches, or 3 little guys really, because there's a mama and baby and then the daddy one over there asleep. Sounds like what goes on in my house. My husband would kill me if he knew I said that. And then I've got these 3 other little ones that are just kind of perching in the grass down there. And I have this load of empty space in the middle. So I have pulled out the Mama Elephant Wishes Enclosed stamp set, which are these lovely large sentiments. And I wasn't really sure what kind of card I was making today, but I decided I had to use these sentiments, so it's a birthday card. So that's what we're making. So I've pulled out the sentiment which reads, "It's your birthday." And I do have the coordinating dies for the stamp set, but I decided just to stamp it flat down onto the card base. And I used some Concord and 9th mushroom ink, which is this nice kind of, it's a dark grey colour. I decided I didn't want to go black, but I didn't know what other colour to use, so I went with grey, and I think it worked quite nicely. It's a little bit more subtle than going in with solid black. So now I'm just attaching everything down with my liquid glue. So I have my grass at the bottom there and my 2 canopy pieces once I line this one up nicely, which does seem to take me a while to try and get it all lined up with the corner there. Once I'm happy, I'll go ahead and place the other one down, and then I will pick up my little koalas again and figure out where I'm going to put them, which is pretty much where I had them earlier. But I just wanted to make sure that I had them placed down correctly before I did go ahead and glue them on. So I'm just kind of popping them in. I'm trying to kind of stick the ends in behind those little pieces of canopy and down below in between the grass and the back of the panel so that they kind of look like they're incorporated into the scene. With this little guy, I wasn't sure where I wanted to put him because his little branch overhung the sentiment just slightly, but I decided in the end that was okay, and I just went ahead with it. So once I have them kind of where I want them, I'm going to bring out my liquid glue. I did consider popping them up on some foam squares, but I decided just to make it a nice flat card and just have everything down flat with liquid glue. I don't know, sometimes I kind of go off dimension all the time. I go through phases of wanting loads and loads of dimension, and then sometimes I'm just like, no, I just want a flat card. So yeah, it just depends what mood I'm in, I guess. But today it was a flat mood day, so I decided just to glue everything down flat with liquid glue. And I really like the way it turned out. I was a little unsure. As I say, these images are very, very small. So it does make it quite hard to make a little scene out of them. But I think that it turned out quite well. And I do love these images. They are absolutely adorable. If you haven't got any of the little agenda sets, I urge you to go and check them out because they're so much fun and there's loads of them. So for the inside of my card, which is just a standard white card, I have stamped out another sentiment from that Wishes Enclosed stamp set, along with another couple of little more celebratory koalas. One has a bunch of balloons and one has a little envelope. I just kind of figured since I was making a birthday card, I better add some kind of more birthday elements on there. And I'm just gluing that down flat. Now at this point, I thought that was it. I kind of thought that was the end of my card, but then I found these little flowers which I have coloured and cut out. They can actually come from the Lawn Fawn Stitched Strawberry Frame die, and I had coloured and cut them out for another project that I was working on, and they were sat on my desk, and I actually ended up kind of spilling them because I'm very clumsy as I was finishing up this card, and I thought actually they look kind of cute and they would work quite nicely with my card here. So I have a couple of smaller flowers, or 5 smaller flowers, which I'm going to attach into my tree canopy to make it look like little blossoms in the tree. And then there are some larger ones which I'm going to attach down the bottom, kind of onto the ends of some of those grass stalks to make it look a little bit like daisies or flowers in the grass. So yeah, happy little accident, as my favourite artist Bob Ross would say. And yeah, I think it turned out quite sweet, and I just like the added pop of that little bit of pink in there as well. I guess it makes it a little bit more of a girly card, I don't know. But either way, I think it turned out kind of cute. And my little koalas are quite happy in their grassy playground there. So that is my card complete now. I hope you enjoyed this one. If you did, please do give it a thumbs up. Please do leave a comment. I would love to hear from you. And please subscribe to my channel. I would love to see you come back again. Thanks for joining me today. Take care.